lots of things, and a lot of my friends went on diets, and I ended up doing that originally to try and support them and sort of tell them that it wasn't a good thing to do, and then it ended up that I found that once I started controlling what I was eating, I felt a real need to control everything else. And on that day that I started it, my room was spotless and everything was really neat. And because I was quite ambitious and quite wanting to get loads of stuff done, I thought this is a great way to focus my mind and help me do lots of things. But it meant that over 7 years, just more and more things happened. So it started with, I would attempt to be on a strict diet, and then when I fell off the wagon or binge, like you said, which would become bigger every time, like it would be, oh, I'll have some crisp, but it ended up being like having maybe 2 days worth of food in one sitting. And then so I'd feel really bad, and then restart the cycle and write a new to-do list and new things, and then it just built up that every time I was started like getting obsessed with cleanliness, would always, after I'd binge, need to wash all my bedding in my room, wash all my clothes, order new clothes, ditch anything that I'd been near when I'd been not good, which would have been any day from that point on, and just trying to reset that all the time. But I started working in film where I'd work really long hours, and then I'd be staying up half the night to wash everything and reset everything, and just not realizing that it was an issue. And I think when you have this kind of bingy behavior, the lie you tell yourself is that you're not bulimic and you're not anorexic, so it's not an issue, and you just carry on thinking this is how, like, this is just something that I do, and this is and I was getting more and more work and was thinking like, oh, this is maybe because in these moments when I reset and I'm really productive, I'm achieving more than I would be if I wasn't doing this. But actually, like you said, it was taking up just so much time. Like I've recently felt freer from it and so more able to talk about it, but it can upset me when I realise the amount of time I spent washing and like long periods in the shower, long periods staying up waiting for my washing machine to finish because I had no fresh clothes that I felt comfortable wearing. And even though I had so many clothes, but it's just they had to be completely clean, and yeah, so it became a just cycle that felt safe and like a coping mechanism, but was actually quite damaging. It was difficult because I started telling people, and then people become very upset and feel like you've not been honest with them by not sharing it, and you didn't realise that it was actually an issue. So I had friends and family giving me books to read, and got booked into CBT, and I don't know at what point it worked, but there was just one point where once you become aware of the behaviour, like, I don't want to do that anymore. And when I was binging, I was like, oh, this isn't helping. And a couple of times because when I'd binge with my money, like ordering loads of things, but then eating loads of food, and it was just everything in excess. And I was starting to realise that wasn't helping. And a couple of times my card was getting declined, and I was just starting to get to a point where I was like, I can't live like this my whole life.
Yes. And now?
And now it's better. Like, I still, a lot of it was to do with not liking my body, and I still wake up and will look at myself and think, oh, this is like, my face is fat today, and I don't want to.
We were talking about this earlier, can we share this?
Yes. I guess we were getting it.
You tell it, I didn't know this.
It's fine. So because it's my birthday, I've just been like going out for dinner as you would, but when I eat a bigger amount, my face gets quite puffy, and it's funny how you think you've made so much progress, and then I nearly didn't want to do this today because I was like, but my face is bigger than it usually is, and that's not okay. And
yes,
just
and the top.
and I couldn't wear the top I wanted to wear, and I was like, oh, it's just my face is fat, so therefore,
what's the point of me turning up?
Why should I do this? And that's obviously not how, like, it's not just not important, and that's what I've been realizing. And just that when I don't restrict myself, I don't want all the things that I'm telling myself, and just trying to believe that I am enough. And it's what's been tricky is even for all the CBT and all the books, I've still not worked out what it was that even got me into it all, and I've not had a single dramatic experience in my childhood that has shaped me to think that that's why I feel like this. But it's been progress to work through it, and it's mainly just come from trying to address it. A lot of my friends said if I had a broken leg, I wouldn't just ignore it and get on with it. I'd get it sorted, and it's been trying to do that. And there was a quote that I liked that said, "Work hard, the future is watching." And I used to see that as working hard to achieve things so that my future self would have an easier time, but actually by taking time out and dealing with it, I've given myself a better future, because otherwise I had it quite constant for 7 years, and it's I wanted to, every year when it was my birthday or Christmas or any annual event that happened every year, it would mark another year that I'd not dealt with it, and I'd feel really bad.
But now you are.
This birthday was a nice birthday.
Nice birthday, and watch this space.
Awesome.
For anybody watching this particular theme of self-esteem, and they've heard something that really resonates with them, if you were to give them a word of encouragement or a practical take-home.
I'd really struggle with looking at people who'd made it to the other side and like really would lean in for their advice and be like, oh well, that's not working, or would take that and then be like, oh well, that it's just not how it is. And it just takes a lot of like we've been talking about, like resistance and like retraining yourself, and it was really difficult for me to hear that there wouldn't be an instant quick fix, because that was what I was always trying to fix myself, and just trying to, if you start just taking small steps in the right direction, that's still good, and to just have patience for yourself.
Next time on the 7 series,
We get the negative discipline of talking back to yourself, like bad and having bad thoughts. The way you punish yourself, it's a discipline, but it's a negative one that you do daily. And you don't even know, it's like sleeping with the enemy.